we get here together every Tuesday for to watch Micro Machine lose.
This is the only purpose for this stream to check how Micro Machine can be beaten. So yeah,
Yep. And also to make sure that everybody can witness that.
yeah, exactly. I think we have seen previously quite interesting games before, so I think this is there's a demand for this type of event. So yeah,
Yep, definitely. I can see how it is getting more and more traction for people.
yes, and hopefully later on more the bot authors will gather some courage and join in the chat. So it's always pleasure to chat with other authors so that everybody can hear them. Of course, we do have the Discord, but anyway, to have normal conversation, it's I think a nice little addition.
So tell me, Saveras, what are those snapshots you added to your bot?
So
Can you give me a basic example? Like,
yes, there's a siege tank on high ground, and it's shooting.
oh, and you keep forgetting it's there, and your units walk into its range over and over and over, and right?
Over and over again. So
yeah.
it will not make a suicide immediately if there's units on the high ground. At the moment, the memory is used only by the cyclones, but it was basically easiest for me to test does the memory work. So yes, it did work, and I'm decently happy with it. So
I feel
well
like
done.
I feel first of all, yes, job well done, and I feel like the memory should be generic enough so every unit could use it, not only cyclones. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure you wouldn't want your marine to walk where the cyclone gets hit by a tank, right?
Yeah, exactly. This was the first implementation for the memory, and I just wanted to check the general idea. So this was something I haven't done before, and to be honest, those dictionaries.
That's really interesting how to implement correctly, because the memory has to have some lifespan, right? You can't assume the tank is going to be there for eternity.
Exactly.
So it's really interesting how to implement that.
Yeah, there's two things I tried. First of all, this position will be wiped out from memory once there's vision on this spot. So if some other unit will scout this place, it will be cleared if there's no units anymore. And another thing, there's a certain time frame. I think it's several seconds at the moment. I have to test what would be the optimal time for it. But anyways,
I don't think it's you can do it that generic. You have to account for certain situations, because I'm sure if you plug in like a specific time frame, in some situations it will work, in others it will hurt your bot because it will assume there are units where there are not units. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I can see the problem immediately, even during the testing. So it's not ready yet. There's only like 30 lines, so there's some improvement to be done.
Yeah.
But the first draft was successful, and my cyclones.
Mind Me is asking about what we're talking about. Savelas, just do I pronounce your name correctly? Savelas?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just mention that he added a new feature to his bot, which is memory for units that hurt his units. For example, a siege tank on a high ground. You don't really see it, but you feel the shots, right? So your units need to remember it's there and path accordingly.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically the idea is exactly like you said. So hopefully, like mine me ask how do I detect it? It's from the snapshots. So when tank is shooting on the low ground, there will be a snapshot. It's not complete unit is not visible, only the snapshot. So it takes that snapshot in memory and keep it there.
Yeah, and then we talk about the difficulties that this presents because the tank can move, right? So you need to come up with a formula for how long that this snapshot should stay in memory. When do you remove it? How do you keep it's a very complicated thing to implement, I think.
Yeah.
You need to invest a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's really simple code at the moment and only used by Cyclones. But during the test games against in-game AI, it was able to recognize those siege tanks on the high ground and keep the Cyclones out of the range. Of course, every other unit went there, but it doesn't matter. The idea did work.
Yeah, I get it. As soon as you have that snapshot and one type of unit can account for it, you can implement it on all of your units. It's not a problem.
Yeah. If you're talking about Ben bot, I don't have to worry about the tanks moving. They are just standing still.
Yeah, that's a good point, mind me. Hey,
Yeah.
Crypt, nice to
Hey,
have you
how's it
here.
going? Yeah, sorry I've been a bit absent the last few weeks. I've just been busy with other stuff. How's everyone doing anyway?
No
Great.
matter.
Everybody here, in case you don't know, SC2AI are running a tournament right now. Crypt,
Yep.
can you give us a bit more information? When is the next cast?
Yeah, so it's our 10th season. We've finally got to the end of it. The next cast on Saturday. We have
Saturday.
four groups of three. We've done the Group A on Sunday. And
You could post, if there is a bracket, you could post it in the chat as well.
yeah, I think I get banned for posting links, but yeah, so it's on the main page, which is sc2ai.net. So yeah, basically we had our first group, and Sharkbot came first in Group A, which was quite a surprise.
And it was impressive. I watched that stream, and he did that with style, really.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so we got Group B and most of Group C on Saturday, and then we're finishing up with the rest of Group C and Group D on Sunday, which is going to be fun. Actually, I just realised that I haven't quite updated the bracket, which I meant to do yesterday and entirely forgot. So I should update the bracket on there. But the updated bracket is on our wiki, I think.
Awesome. We can actually plug your tournament, I think, in the stream information below the stream. Also, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. But,
okay.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. We're trying a new format this time, so the new format looks good. I think people are enjoying it.
Can you tell us about the new format and how is it different from the old one? For those of us who doesn't know.
So in the old format, we had two groups of 6, and we had the top 2 of each group qualify into a semi-finals and finals bracket. And it's basically a double round robin, so they play each other twice. The new format is that they play each other in a best of 3. It's 4 groups of 3 instead of 2 groups of 6. Everyone plays each other in their group in a best of 3 series, and the top 2 bots go forward into quarterfinals bracket, and we're doing best of 5s for quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals.
Sounds exciting, and it's a single elimination, right? Not like Probots that was a double elimination.
Yeah, it's single elimination. Basically, we kind of decided that was the best way of doing it. Obviously, we don't want to have lots of matches. I don't like double elimination for bot tournaments. The reason being is bot games can often lead to a lot of similar games. So I'd much rather kind of have the single elimination where you're guaranteed a different game every time. So that's kind of the reason.
I completely agree with you, and Probots found an elegant solution for that by spacing the games like a week or 2 weeks apart, so authors can update their bots between rematches. And that actually yielded very interesting and entertaining games. So maybe you should consider that, even though I also think your format is great and really entertaining to watch. I'm just saying Probots found some elegant solution to the problem you just raised.
Yeah, it's definitely something we can look at in the future. We're up to playing around with our formats and stuff like that. So we'll do whatever works best. But so yeah, in terms of updates with our tournament, it's basically the first submission is for the group stage, and then we allow an updates before the bracket stage, and then it's finished from there. So quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals have to be done with the same bot, and all the group stage as well. So yeah, you can update, but it's not as as many updates as Probots.
Yeah, it's also worth to mention that those updates require a lot of resources from the authors, which don't always have the time to invest in them. So sometimes it's also fine to just run a tournament that requires the authors to do the job initially, and then just let their bots run the entire tournament.
I think it's important to have two different types of tournaments. So one tournament has one qualities, and the other tournament is a different kind of tournament. So like MindMe told in the chat, in the Probots there was a chance for the exploit, as we saw. MMDIT went down quite nicely with this 3-worker harass at the beginning.
Yeah, that was brilliant. What Rasper did, that Spiny was the bot. That was just brilliant. It was such a very targeted abuse. Something that was tailored for Micro Machine. It was really obvious.
Yeah, it was really made for that. I think every single viewer, except one, did enjoy that exploit.
Yeah, well, except two. Raph and Unusual were pretty annoyed by it.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah,
I would argue that the reason that Micro Machine is crushing the ladders is because it allows other authors to find exploits. Obviously, there is a downside because some authors like to wait with those exploits until there is a tournament, but allowing people to find exploits actually plays in the favor of Micro Machine, because every time that happens, they fix another bug in their bot, and their bot becomes better.
Yeah, I really admire their mindset regarding that. So Micro Machine is clearly best bot at the moment. Actually,
and I think I'm not going to take away from their programming skills. They're both very gifted, and they do really do really good work on their bot. But I think a big part of why the bot is so good is because they allow other authors to find exploits, and essentially they get QA from other authors to how to improve their bot.
Yeah, it's all open source as well, so you just go on the repo and find it and work out the exploits from there, which is quite fun.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but well, that's the reason they are so damn good. They're so good.
Yeah, and I can't promise when, but when I will have my own bot, I would like to do it by that methodology. Like I would just put it out there and other authors can analyze it and find its weak spots, and I would gladly have them do that so I can fix bugs and improve my bot through
but
that.
the other half of that is obviously once you found the bugs to actually fix them, which is where they actually do. They actually put a lot of work into that area of things as well. So it's not just a case of like, hey, look, someone's found the bug, there it's fixed or whatever. They put an awful lot of work into upgrading strategies and fixing
And
those
they are
bugs.
very
So,
talented. Not everybody can
yeah,
do what they do.
yeah, exactly.
I don't want to take away from their talent. They really did great work on that bot, and it shows.
The reason for me to keep my bot open source, well, I never be in the top 3 with my skills, so that's a fact. But I got so much help when from the Discord, from the open source bot available on the on SC2 AI when I started. I decided to keep my bot open source so that if there's a new guy starting to programming a bot, he can check the commands and well, I'm not a programmer, so it looks like crap, my code, but they can check.
I haven't seen it, but I doubt that. I think I doubt what you're saying right now. I think your code is fine. But okay, continue.
It does work, but it's not. If I compare my code to example some other bots, it's not so clean. But anyways, it does work. It does the job. I get some wins on the ladder.
Yeah, it does
And
pretty well. Like, I mean, I think you sell yourself short. The bot's actually not too bad. Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
You sell yourself short. Your bot does some impressive stuff, in my eyes, at least.
Sometimes it
Like,
does. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine needs to put an important point in chat, which is like everyone's code looks like crap to them, and it's actually so true because like you come at someone else's code and you immediately assume like this guy knows what they're doing. I'm looking at this awesome code, and then you see your own code and you think, what the hell am I doing here?
there is this thing that I noticed during my career as a software engineer that if every time you look back a year at your old code, the thoughts of how did I write this piece of junk raise to your mind. Like the rate of improvement is so quick that every time your old code will look like crap to you when you learn new things.
Yeah. I think a year is pretty optimistic there. Me, it's 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what the hell? That's not just improvement. That's just like, oh god, what am I doing?
What did I think about? How did I do that? What the fuck?
How is this even working?
Who did that? Exactly? How does this thing even work? You spot so many flaws in your code, so many things that are wrong and stuff like that.
I was actually having a conversation with someone about like banking systems and stuff like that a while back, saying like there's stuff from the 90s that's still kind of like in production.
Oh
and
yeah, that's
like,
a programming language. How it's called?
Is it Erlang or something like that? But yeah, stuff like that is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, what must those people be thinking?
I chose this game because this was Tur versus Blinkerbot, and well, I have no previous information about this game, but Tur has interesting games. So this was proxy 2rex to bunkers against Blinkerbot, and it seems to be
looks like Blinkerbot is not equipped to deal with that. Not yet, anyway. I remember Tyr did that exact build against you, Savelas, and you just gave him the nut and expanded to third and went on to win the game from there, which was really nice.
Yeah, it's something I struggled a lot when there was something in the natural, not necessarily natural, but later on the game, and I lost every single game because I was trying to build a CC, it got taken down, time after time after time. So just a simple check if there's anything from the enemy in the expansion, units, structures, anything, just skip that immediately and go to the next one.
Yeah, that's actually a simple rule that really covers a lot of cases, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly like 2 lines of code. So, and that has given me well prevented quite a lot of losses against many bots.
By the way, regarding what you said earlier, that you had a lot of help and resources from SE2 AI, that's the reason I wrote the SE2 map analysis library to offer better resources to get authors going faster. And recently I had a conversation with Rasper, who is not here right now, is the author of Spiny, who won Probots, about making a similar library much smaller, like a small framework for Zergs. Something like larva management, queen management, and creep management. Because we noticed that not many authors choose Zerg because Zerg requires a bit extra work. Those aspects that I just mentioned are the extra work that makes authors go to another race, like skip Zerg.
Yeah, especially the creep spread. I do have another bot, Zerg bot, and I tried to program some creep spread, but unfortunately that is quite difficult to do efficiently. So
yeah, so it would be really nice if there was a framework that is customizable. It's not like deterministic, that you can just plug in parameters for how you want to do a creep spread, and you have full control over it, but it does the heavy lifting for you. So you can go on and develop your bot in other aspects.
Are you going to build that kind of framework for the creep spread?
Well, I think Rasper is interested in doing that, and I told him that I will gladly contribute, but I think the one leading something like that should be a good Zerg author, and who is better than the one that just won Probots, you know?
Yeah. I think that would
really
be
good. He's even good at playing as well. He was
yeah.
I think he was Masters or something.
So yeah.
I think that would be brilliant if that would be available for the other authors also, and
it's not a heavy library. It could be a really small library that just take those aspects that are unique to Zerg, like queen management. Sometimes you want to dedicate queens to spreading creeps. Other times you want them to be near hatcheries and inject. Creep spread, of course, and larva management. Larva management is huge. Sometimes you want to reserve larva just in case. Like you see a push coming, then you spend all of your larva into combat units. But if no push is coming, you can play greedy until then, you know?
That's a really interesting aspect for the Zerg, and I did try to do something like that with my bot, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I did notice that there's quite an interesting game mechanics for the Zerg, and if there would be some tools for the new programmers, that would be huge.
That's where, besides obviously also contributing to AI Arena, that's where I put my focus right now. It's trying to create tools that will make new authors have a smooth landing into the community, get them started. And as much as I love Sharpie, I don't feel like Sharpie offers the authors the freedom to do whatever they want. It's it decides a lot of the choices for the authors. I'm looking to create tools that just open an interface that's easy to use and allows the authors to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I understand. I haven't checked what Sharpie is actually doing under the hood, so I can't really comment about that. I do know that the Infi has done great job with it, but
amazing job.
Yeah.
But you can see that it is tailored for sharpened edge and not a generic library for every bot.
I mean, it's more tailored towards kind of Protoss, but like they did, the Harvester was Zerg for a while, so there is a lot of good Zerg code in there. But yeah, it is mostly Protoss, I think.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of the actual micromanagement and the kind of like the generic management is race specific in StarCraft 2, because like a lot of the actual take Stalkers, for example, like micromanagement with Blink and kiting. Kiting can be done for a lot of units, but sort of like it's different from say Stalkers to kind of like Marauders or Marines or something like that. So it's very
definitely. And that is something that every author is going to have to sit down and design for himself. That's not something that you can create a generic framework for that, because Micro is very unique. You need some imagination and you can do many beautiful things. I wouldn't want to limit people with the options of the Micro. I would like to see them come up with new things and new ideas and new implementations.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like I told you before in this stream previously. Example, Micro Machine has this influence map. I think it's brilliant. For me as a programmer, I don't even know how to start if I would like to build one. So I decided.
I'm sorry. Finish. I'll say what I have after.
Yeah, I decided that okay, I will do what I can without it. So I tried to find the simplest way to manage my units, to micro the units. Not the most efficient way, but the most simplest way, and to be still effective. So there's been a lot of testing, and basically my kiting is for every unit type. It's like 10 to 15 lines of code only. I don't even know how much code is in Micro Machine, this influence map. So well, that's the reason I'm not winning Micro Machine. Is Micro Machine is winning me.
I want to encourage you to check out the map analyzer, because it aims to solve those problems that you just mentioned. That someone who has great imagination and is very creative, but is not a software engineer, still can use those tools and compete on that level, because the tool is out there right now. You can use that.
Probably I have to check that one out. So I do want to have some edge against the top 10 bots.
Yeah, I mean, the things that Jancy is the perfect example. He really showcased. He's not a software engineer. He learned Python in his free time, and mostly for this purpose, for coding a bot. And the things he managed to do with the map analyzer are really impressive. Really, I mean, I didn't think that such potential is in there.
Yeah, I think I have to check your map analyzer later on. I do have the motivation again, so let's do it.
That's great. And also by the way, Raspberry is also using it. The more feedback I get, the better it gets. Because, for example, now Raspberry is bringing me Zerg-oriented feedback, which helps a lot, making it also be compatible for whatever Zerg needs, which is different from other races.
I understand. I just queued up one game. It's between Danteman and Bomb Shaker. I think Bomb Shaker was Newbot. So
Yeah, I don't recognize the name, so it's definitely a new bot.
yes. And this is game number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7th game from the Bomb Shaker. And I
Did he
will
beat
skip this one.
Dan?
I will skip this one, and we will have a look. What is Bomb Shaker?
Okay, sounds exciting.
This is a rather long game, unfortunately, but I think we are going 4 times speed, if I remember correctly. So it should not last so long.
Well, as long as the game is not stale, like action is happening, I don't mind if it's long at all.
Yeah.
I even prefer to watch an action-packed long game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. What's the new bot doing? And for the background information, Danteman is in top 10, number 9 on the ladder at the moment. So
Dandeman is also a contributor in AI Arena, one of the big ones. He did a lot of fantastic work. I just want to use this stage to give him some credit that he definitely deserves.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
he does a lot of good work. So,
although, don't you guys think it's a little suspicious that he's in top 10 and he's on the staff in AR Arena? I think that's pretty suspicious.
all I'm saying is that that Mind Games definitely isn't in there, and he's been doing a lot of work as well. So I'm not going to put it all down to that, So
yeah.
The way I see it, you have to trust someone eventually,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've always taken the opinion with SC2AI.net, like that it's all there as a matter of fun, and there's always a chance that someone could try and cheat or do something wrong or something like that. And I just take the opinion of like, if it happens, it happens. We'll deal with it when it comes along. Like,
I was more talking about like a staff member abusing his position to get ahead in the ladder or something like that. I can tell you that it does not happen, but I can understand why. I can't prove it to you, That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You will have to just trust me on this.
Yeah, and we do definitely, because we are not talking about any win prizes here. Nobody's getting $1 million for winning AI Arena. So
well, you say that now. I may be preempting an announcement here, laddie, but just tell us about that, like $1 million prize pool.
Oh yes, yeah.
That would be nice. I think in that case, Micro Machine would be sniped really hard.
Yeah.
Every single
Micro Machine, you don't stand a chance. Everybody will have a Micro Machine build in their code. Yeah.
Yeah.
For that kind of money, I'm quitting my job and doing it full time.
Yeah.
Having said that, I had a discussion with Ladi recently that if we reach a surplus, which I think is very, very possible in our monthly money flow, we want to start giving out prizes for the season endings. And the thing that I want to ask you guys right now is, obviously, number 1, 2, 3 will get a prize, but I also want to motivate the mid-tier bots for improving. So what I've been thinking is maybe a prize for the bot who improves its elo the most over the season, for example. But it's so easy to exploit that. You can just upload an empty bot and let it lose a bunch and then update it with some quality code, and there you go, your elo improved, you know?
Yep.
So maybe you have other ideas on how to reward and motivate mid-tier bots for improving.
So one thing we used to do in the tournament was basically to have spot prizes for stuff like the most innovative strategy, the most units killed, and things like that, which kind of like give people like something else to think about as well. Just as fun. It's not really not really a much.
Yeah, that's a great idea, but it's I don't think it's applicable for a season, because the season is more like looking at the entire season stats and trying to get some insight out of it that qualifies a bot for a reward. At least that's my approach to that.
I think the winner is easy to choose. Okay, that will be the winner of the season, and there could be prize for the new bot, best new bot during the season. That could be done also, but I think
could be exploited also. I think Micro Machine can create a new alias and upload a new bot with the same code. You know,
it could be done. I think
not that I'm saying that they will do it. I trust them that they won't. But when you give that option out, someone will take advantage of it.
Yeah, but I agree with you. That's exploitable. But everything related to money is exploitable. So what I'm thinking about in the mid-tier bots, like Crypt said, most innovative build. So we could have some kind of I don't know how to say it in English, jury.
Yeah, judges, jury, some kind of judging system.
Yeah, and they will choose some innovative bot. It doesn't have to be the top bot. It could be from the middle, from the bottom bot that is doing something interesting. So especially for this season, I think Getrock is participating in the SC2 AI. That's interesting bot. It's doing completely different than any other bot is doing. So that's just an example. I'm not saying that we have.
I agree. I definitely agree, but it has to be something that cannot be biased. It cannot be because the AI Arena staff likes this person more than another person, they would choose to give that person a prize. No, I want numbers to dictate which bot should get that prize, and the numbers to make sense as well, you know?
See, I think we're a small enough community at the moment that's not going to be an issue, and like I trust them to be kind of impartial anyway. So like I don't think like that's so much an issue, especially given that it's not like massive amounts of money, like you say. It's just a case of like giving someone a prize for doing something cool.
Do you see? Yeah. Actually, talking about innovative build, did you see Bomb Shaker? It did have a. It's basically.
By the way, this game is intense. This game is intense. We're talking about completely different things, but a lot of action is happening here. And I love the Raven micro from Bomb Shaker.
Yeah. So basically, there's ravens on the sky and Hellions on the ground. So basically, that's the idea.
Cyclones as well, which is and a
Oh,
few
yeah.
Vikings. He has a pretty well-rounded composition that can handle everything, I think.
Yeah.
It shows that he really put in thought into his strategy and execution, and it's impressive. Really,
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
It's quite good here. Managed to survive quite a lot of pressure from Dan the Man earlier. So that was. It looks like that running out of a bit of steam at the moment.
I will just say one more thing about the last topic. The reason for that initially was that I feel like mid-tier bots are stuck in a limbo of I can't compete with Micro Machine. I cannot get there. I mean, maybe in a year of developing my bot, but right now I cannot get there. So they become demotivated to improve their bot, and I don't want that to happen. So
that is happening for me also. Did happen for me also because the top 10 bots, they're really good. I have to be honest. The top 10, that's just insane. So it's for me it's a little bit demotivating, but even still, when I get something done, I get those wins. Like a couple of days ago, I managed to beat Trivia Lover. So and that's really
always
big
fun,
thing
beating
for me.
Yamabushi.
So Yamabushi has a really good bot, but I managed to beat it, and I got tons of motivation to continue with my project. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Keeping the motivation is up is really hard for the mid-tier bots.
Yeah, because they have a long way to go, which at that point they don't really know that those top bots have walked the same path that they are walking right now, just earlier.
Yeah.
But it's demotivating to try to compete with that right at the start.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And I think purpose of this stream is to give motivation to the guys to prevent lack of motivation. To have a discussion like we are having at the moment. Everybody knows Micro Machine is top bot at the moment, but who knows after a year? Because so much can happen in a year, and the quality of the bots has gone up dramatically during the last year.
Definitely. We saw that in the last Probots. I mean, the games were good, really. I'm saying that objectively, the games were entertaining and good. Honestly, okay, maybe that's not 100% objective because I was rooting for Jancy, but I still remember how he disabled the tanks with his Ravens and coordinated his units, and it was just beautiful to see. I really enjoyed watching those executions.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mind me to suggest that I or told I have a trophy thing for the best bot chat.
Yeah,
that is something new, and
that's actually an interesting thing to think about. Because
that's something we used to give out for the old tournaments.
Yeah, it adds to the entertainment, so why not encourage it? You know?
Yeah.
I have to say, after testing, I know for a fact that there's one bot on the ladder that is sniping my bot by its because it declares the strategy it's using at the beginning of the game. So there's one one bot using my chat against me, but that's okay. I don't mind because that's my decision to give that information at the beginning. So
you can also play mind games, you know, give false information.
Exactly. Now that I know which bot is doing that, I can I can do something about it.
Yeah.
And I think MindMe is on the right track here.
Yeah, just going back to our old discussion quickly, I was looking at Micro Machine stats, and he played his first game on the SC2AI ladder in March 2018. So he's been around a good 2.5 years and had a lot of optimization in that time.
Exactly. So when you
Interestingly,
bought, I'm sorry.
interestingly, he played it at 8 in the morning, so early riser. Actually,
Yeah.
that's a weird time because that must have been like 3 in the morning for their time. So he probably submitted to Micro Machine as about 3 in the morning his time. So he must have been up all night programming it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I assume most developers are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a passion for something, you will. I can't go to sleep if I'm passionate about something. I will keep working on it. You know.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning is not unusual for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
And MindMe works during his sleep. So
That's the goal for I wish I could just go to sleep and get work done. By the way, I just want to note that it's disgusting how efficient Ravens are. Look at the resources lost at the bottom right.
Yeah.
That's just insane. That's
insane.
insane.
Because he's using free units, turrets, to trade with real units that cost money.
Yeah.
Over and over.
That's just disgusting.
All the bases are taken. So if this keeps up, Bomb Shaker will take the game because Denderman will run out of minerals eventually, and he needs more bases than Bomb Shaker.
And Ravens are the best, well, spellcasters, not just Ravens, but in the context of Terran, Ravens are the best units for a low economy game because energy doesn't cost money. You can keep producing those turrets and whatever. You're not depending on minerals or anything.
Yeah. You just have to have a proper micro to keep them alive. So
yeah, exactly.
Bomb Shaker has done good job to keep those Ravens alive. So this is really.
And the Ravens are also complementing the other units in a way that makes them more cost effective as well. He really did a good job here. Really, I really enjoy watching this.
Yeah. Cyclones are keeping back, doing their lock-ons. Vikings are not dying on the Marines like my bot does. So
and when Hellions when Marines are trying to go and shoot the Ravens, there are Hellions waiting for them to cover the Ravens.
Yeah,
it's really nice how he's executing this.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah.
I think Bomb Shaker is purposely playing cautiously, making constant damage on the enemy, but not trying to push so hard. I think it could win the game quite fast, at least at this point. But I think it's programmed to be cautious and trading cost efficiently until it's win.
I think that is the biggest problem of most bots, knowing when to pull the trigger, when to YOLO, to go in and just finish the game. Because the way bots evaluate things is always assuming that there might be more units waiting behind or whatever, you know? They don't realize that if you just kill his entire army, he doesn't have anything. You can go and finish the game.
Yeah. I know. It's really difficult to do. So
oh yeah, I'm just the way I'm saying it might sound to people who are not authors like it's easy to implement. No, I think it's one of the hardest things in the realm of bot authoring to do correctly.
It's because it's very difficult to describe in human terms as well. It's very comes down to a kind of like feeling of kind of like, am I ahead or am I behind? And it's very difficult to put that down in code as you would describe it to yourself. And
bots don't have instincts like humans does.
Intuition. Like to evaluate where you're standing in relation to him after you just traded X amount of units. It's really hard to put into logic that thing.
Yeah,
I think Yamabushi had decent code for that. I talked with him there's some time back. I haven't tried to do something similar, but he does evaluate how many. I might be lying because it's so long time I spoke with him. He's evaluating how many resources the enemy has lost.
Yeah, but you have to do that while taking into account his economy and his rate of production. Because if you don't do that, well, he could have lost a lot of resources, but if he has 10 bases and 20 barracks, you will meet a lot of Marines by the time you get to his base, you know?
Yeah, example in this game, Dan has lost over double. And let's say Bomb Shaker wouldn't have such outstanding economy, so it could be a wrong decision to go in at the moment. But it's really difficult. It depends also on the economy, not just the units lost, but it has to be something you have to calculate every single lost unit if you want to evaluate are you winning or losing.
It's a metric that needs to be a relation between a few metrics, like his rate of production, his economy, and resources lost combined together into some evaluation, I think.
Yeah.
And often you don't have that information available. You don't know exactly what his economy is or rate of production, so you have to guess.
Yeah, that's the interest of this game, because this is a game of imperfect information, and it makes this game so much more interesting.
That's why I love poker. By the way, I'm a poker player, in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
no.
I love to play poker as well. It's good fun.
Yeah, Texas Hold'em, Crypt?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot more than I do now.
So poker is also a game of incomplete information, much like StarCraft, where you have to make educated evaluations of where you are standing and where your enemy is standing.
Yeah,
there are a lot of similar things between poker and StarCraft, and the best players are the ones who take that incomplete information and manage to evaluate accurately or relatively accurately what's going on.
Yeah. Mind me told on the chat, if supply is bigger than 190, attack is easy. So I think most beginners will start with something like that. Once you have enough supply, then just go in. And with this, you can make some.
Look at that SCV pool. Dan is pulling all of his SCVs. That's an interesting choice.
I think Dan hasn't any more minerals to mine, so.
This is where the Ravens kick in.
Last stand.
Yeah. I think the main issue with Dan's code here is that he didn't make a single Viking, I think, in this game. So I think if he made a lot of Vikings and managed to get air superiority, he could have beaten this composition. But I wouldn't know for sure, because I think those Cyclones who didn't do much are exactly there to cover for the air battle to lock on the Vikings, the enemy Vikings.
For the Vikings, they will just melt front of those cyclones.
Yeah, the composition for Bomb Shaker is really well thought out. I feel
Yeah.
he is really ready for many scenarios, many different things.
I think Bomb Shaker will shake the ladder quite a bit in the near future.
It looks like. I wonder if he's an old author, because this doesn't look like a new author to me. This bot is good.
This is not made in 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
there's a lot of thought put into this.
Yeah, but it's nice to have Bomb Shaker. So we will be following this bot with an interest in the near future.
You're following your career with great interest. Okay, that's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Is that a Star Wars quote? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Biograph. I'm reading this directly from the Bomb Shaker, what he has written on the biography. Named by my 4-year-old son, a very basic bot that is going to require a lot of development. It's not just the basic bot.
I would be very surprised if it's written by a 4-year-old.
I want to meet that 4-year-old, and I'm willing to invest money in him right now. To have a piece of his future. Like that 4-year-old is unreal.
He's going places.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we'll be having Alpha Star by the time he's 8.
I think Alpha Star will be peanuts for him by the time he's 8.
Little Anakin. That was an interesting game.
Oh, it's named by his 4-year-old. It's not developed by his 4-year-old, which makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Not developed by, yeah.
That does make more sense.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Is there any other interesting? Actually, everybody loves to see when the top bot goes down. So here's one more. This is a short 7-minute game, but I want to see what happens here.
This one, or you're queuing one up?
The next one.
The next one.
Unless you want
I would like to watch this one because it's 2 top-tier bots, and I know both of them got some recent updates, so it's interesting.
It's always interesting to see those 2 top bots.
I also know Genzi made some very interesting improvements to his TVP, which I would like to see and be surprised here with all of you guys, because I don't know. I only know that he made them. I don't know what they are.
Okay. Genzi is building directly on the natural. I think many times he builds, if I remember correctly, it does build also the first expansion in the main and flies it on the natural. I think this might be updated from the previous ones. And Sharpenet is going.
Sharpenet looks like it's going for one base robo all in, like Immortal Stalker, I think.
Yeah.
Which actually I doubt it's going to work, because Genzi already before the update had the proper code to respond to that.
Yeah. He's making bunker and tanks, so it will be difficult to go in with the immortals and stalkers.
Yeah, it's not easy to break that. and looks like Sharpened Edge is not going for any follow-up. It's focusing on one base production and trying to win.
Yeah.
And Gen Z is obviously aware of that because his Reaper is right there, seeing everything. So
the scouting is really, really important at
oh
this
yeah,
point.
oh yeah.
I haven't implemented Reaper scouting, so I do have a big problems with this build from Sharpened Edge.
Yeah, many bot authors, Terran bot authors, seems to have the impression that Reapers are meant to harass and kill workers, where actually the main purpose of that unit is to be able to scout without spending a scan, to go into the main base and see what's going on there.
Yeah, you are just using 50 minerals and 50 gas instead of what, 300 and something minerals?
Yeah, and if you keep it alive, you can wait a couple minutes and do it again, and you saved another scan. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And later on, for my own amusement, if I'm able to keep the Reaper alive, I'm just throwing those grenades. I'm not trying to even kill anything with the Reaper. I'm just throwing the grenade in because it looks nice when the enemy units will jump around.
Fly in the air. Yeah.
So
I like it too.
Yeah, it has nothing to do trying to win the game, but it does look nice when 30 Marines fly around. But Gen Z seems to be staying in one base. I think it will go once the stem is done, or...
Oh, he told me about this. When he recognizes that the Protoss is going for a one base all in, he has a specific two base all in to counter that.
Okay.
Which means he's not going to expand further. He's going to. There is a specific push designed to kill the Protoss that is going to be happening soon.
Okay, that's a really good idea because what I have done at this point, even a little bit earlier, I will try to push out and I will just die. I think this is a really good idea. If you know that in one base.
If you know you're getting all in, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nexus at the 8-minute mark has any meaning. So
yeah,
like dropping a Nexus now is, I'd rather spend those to get another 4 Zealots and not a Nexus at this point.
Yeah. I think Sharpened Edge lost the game before that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this game is over. You can skip it now.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see like mind drops and stuff like that, but I guess because he was getting one base all in, it triggered a specific reaction that
yeah,
it is just effective. It's not fancy or anything. Just does the job.
I definitely have to check your map analyzer because I have nothing on that area, so that would help me quite a bit, and that's too difficult for me to program. So I think you will have another client.
That's great, and please feel free to request features if you see something that could be useful that I haven't thought about or anybody else. Yeah, I feel like Zergs and Terrans are going to benefit from that, mostly because Protoss is less depending on position and map awareness. It's more like death ball and let's go kill the enemy.
Yeah.
But Zergs and Terrans are much more focused on mobility and harassing everywhere and being everywhere and splitting him to different places and not just one big army walking forward, you know?
Yeah. It does work until one point, and I think my bot is quite there. So it does require some map awareness. It cannot go forward without that.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Your bot is
not going forward. It's not going to improve
without map awareness.
Yeah, without map awareness. So
it's key. It's key for a Terran army is good when it fights on its own terms, not on the enemy's terms. That means you need to set up your tanks, you need to set up your positions, then you are ready to fight, you know?
Yeah. Wizards took both gases from the sharpened edge.
And there is a cannon rush, right? Or what's that over there? That's interesting. We see blue buildings in the red base and red buildings in the... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was cannon rush, but I think it was cancelled. I'm taken down. They're not building in the proper places, I think.
Yeah.
He's mining from that gas. He's mining from that gas. Look at it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we had Sharkbot in the tournament that just kind of like decided it was going to go for like full-on base trades and like getting the opponent's gas and everything like that. It was that bot is quite fun, and it looks like this bot is pretty much in the same mold. Like it's just like don't give a crap. I'm going to do whatever, man.
Extend this a little bit. Took all 4 gases from the enemy, so I think that would screw up the code quite a bit.
Yeah,
usually. I'm sorry. Go, Kurt.
Can someone call the StarCraft 2 police? You know, they're building in the wrong places. They're stealing the opponent's gas. Call the damn police, man.
They're breaking the rules. They're breaking the rules.
This is not the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, those are the things I'm looking for. Innovations, new stuff, new strategies, finding holes in what's considered standard and just safe, you know? Finding where it's not safe, where it's fragile.
Actually, this would be quite interesting for the Terran. If you steal 4 gases from the enemy, and you don't build those refineries to the end and just cancel them before they are taken down. So it could work also for the Terran.
There is a Terran approach to this, which is dropping an engineering bay on his natural. But it wouldn't work in the current meta because most Protoss bots don't care about their natural. They're going for a 1 base all-in. So it wouldn't really work. But in high-level human ladder StarCraft, Protoss, if they are going for an all-in, it's usually a 2 base all-in, not a 1 base all-in. So they need to expand and get those resources. And dropping an engineering bay there really puts a wrench in their plan.
And the game will end once Wizard Hat will take down Sharpened Edge cannon from his natural. Quite
That's
interesting ending for the game.
Lost Lucidity, yeah, I said it correctly. I have to admire you for coding this AI-oriented code with JavaScript. It seems like a real challenge to me. And good for you, man. Really.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like we've had a few JavaScript bots. I think we've had 2 of them in the past. But yeah, having another
JavaScript is a very performant language. I mean, it's not really made for those purposes, which is interesting how you are implementing Lost Lucidity, all of the features that a bot requires. But I think performance-wise, JavaScript is great for this.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I will be staying a while longer, and after that, I will be gonna go. But this has been really interesting session this time. So
Like always, I always enjoy it. Honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting conversation going on here. So and it was nice to have a crypt here. So unfortunately, he hasn't been in previous weeks, but that's fine. Every single one of us has real life. So yeah.
Lost Lucidity, can you give us a rough comparison to, let's say, Python on how easy or hard it is to implement basic things like, I don't know, micro or expanding or managing your workers or whatever?
I think worker management is also interesting. I did find it interesting challenge to program that by myself.
It is definitely. It's one of the challenges that that is not obvious how to solve, and I think every author has to solve it. You know?
Yeah, I think there's not one correct answer how to do it. Mine is not.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you for 1 second. Lost Lucidity, you just got Casserole. If you want to join us and speak, you're very welcome. Yes, Avelas, continue. I'm sorry for stopping you.
Yeah, no worries. I made really careful SCV micro, so I'm constantly trying to avoid enemy units and losing the mining time by trying to save the SCVs. So in certain cases, I don't think that's the optimal way to go, but that's how I did it.
I think there is no optimal way. It really depends on your style and how you want, and on your strategy, because there are, for example, as a human Terran, there are builds that part of the steps of the build is to stop worker production so you can get another Marine out and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it really depends on your strategy, and you need your worker management to be, I forgot the word, like able to deal with different things.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It's not only keep making workers, you know? No, there are things to consider there.
Yeah, I do have well, for me, I'm trying something, and if
Versatile,
it doesn't
thank you, mind me.
Yeah, versatile, yeah. I'm trying to do something. If it doesn't work, I change it. At the moment, I think I have 3 different ways to handle worker production. And the first one I did wrote, the simplest one, because I needed a simple code that will perform quite nicely. So the basic idea was to build 2 SCV at a time constantly. And that did work actually quite nicely up till a certain point. I have made additions for that, but it was really mind-blowing that if you're building 2 SCVs constantly, you're gonna be fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
It's not the best way to do, but if you're,
I can give you a simple example. If you're getting all in, sometimes you have to cut worker production to get more combat units out. It's a very realistic scenario where you have to cut, and most bots have their automatic worker management that keeps producing workers, you know, so
Yep.
they don't do that.
What I did next was once I see enemy units on my side of map, I canceled. I stopped SCV production, but that wasn't the correct way to do. I lost because I wasn't producing anything if there was a constant pressure. So
that sounds like a
yeah.
bug more to me.
yeah, so it wasn't good to stop it altogether. So I changed it. I'm producing only one SCV at a time if enemies on my side of map. I know it's not perfect, but it does function pretty well at the moment on the ladder.
Yeah, it's an important point as well that you have to make a lot of generalizations in that kind of area, because you're never going to get sort of like that perfect balance. Again, it comes down to a lot of instinct as to what you need to do. So having kind of like just a simple rule of thumb like that is a good way of just getting up to a reasonable level pretty fast.
Yeah,
and then you can just start coding the edge cases like one by one, you know.
Yes.
I agree with that approach.
Yeah. At least for the beginners, you have to have some general rule of thumb, so it's easy to start. So
that's by the way what I'm working on right now. I'm currently struggling with macro while completely ignoring the opponent. My bot doesn't acknowledge that there is an opponent in the game. The only goal is to get the macro going properly right now.
Yeah. What race are you playing?
Terran.
Yeah. It was for me. I wanted to build a bot that is able to use every single unit in the game and do proper macro. So I think I didn't even have a proper attack code. Only code was if you see enemy, go there.
I feel like the combat and attack decisions are going to be much easier to do when the macro can back it up. Like switch your resource allocation from economy to army production, for example, stuff like that. You know, when you have that in place, you can send those orders to the, I'm calling it the macro manager, but whatever it is for you, to be compatible with what you're doing.
Yeah. How I did struggle quite a bit that I didn't have enough. I mean, I was floating either gas or I was floating minerals, and I was struggling with that quite a bit. And how I did solve that was after I have like 3 bases, I changed the code for the marine production. If I have certain amount of minerals, then I can build marines, and if not, I will save it up. And I'm keeping the mineral level.
I'm sorry to stop you, but what you just said sounds like it's really easy to exploit. Like
Yes,
if I can keep your mineral count low, you're stuck, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly so. If I'm not getting minerals, I'm not building marines, but I'm building higher tech units.
I see. Okay. So you're still getting some combat units out.
Yes.
Okay.
If I have more than, well, I have to adjust the number, but let's say if I have more than 300 minerals, spend it on marines. If it's under it, get something high tech out of the factory or Stargate.
That's really interesting, but then you find yourself in a place where you have all of the support units, and when I say support units, I mean medivacs, tanks, whatever that is not your core army, which is usually Marines and Marauders. So you have all the support, but you don't have your core army, which doesn't work well usually.
Yes. it's been a lot of trial and error, but that was the main idea. And of course, in a certain strategy, I just don't use that. I use some other method. So I do have different macro for different strategies for the bot. So it's been interesting journey so far.
Yeah, definitely. I from someone who really enjoys solving unique problems, I have to say that the problems that are being presented by bot development are amazing.
Yeah.
If you enjoy solving those kind of things, which I do.
Yeah, I do enjoy also, because if you don't enjoy solving problem, you will not enjoy playing this programming game.
Yeah.
We have a lot of problems to solve.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, it's been a lot of fun talking to you, but I'm going to have to leave you.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the stream,
It was
guys.
great having you. Can you tell us again, just remind us when is the next cast? So if anybody knew.
Next cast will be on Saturday at 9 o'clock UK time, 8 p.m. UTC. So we're going to do all of Group B and half of Group C as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So this Saturday, guys, AC2AI.net is having the second cast of the tournament. I'm going to be there, and I assume most of us will be there too.
Yeah, the bracket is now updated on the website as well. So if you go to AC2AI.net, you'll see the latest bracket.
Nice. You can post that again, the link, right?
Just give me one sec. Yeah, so it's on there now. Anyway, thanks for setting up the stream, guys, and we'll talk to you probably next week.
It was great having you, Crypt, and we'll see you on Saturday, if not before.
Yeah. Cool. Catch you later.
Okay. Bye, man.
Bye-bye. It's been, the last cast was really interesting. I think Polymorphic, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Polymorphic and Crypt made really good job previously. But anyways, I'm going to leave also.
Yeah, me too. I think we've been here for like an hour and a half, which is respectable. And
I think it's a really good time to be here. 1 hour and a half, so it's not too long.
Let me remind you that the very first time we did this, it was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
we had a conversation for 6 hours watching bot games, and I really didn't feel overwhelmed. I didn't feel like it's too much. Like it was good. It was interesting, you know.
Yes, but now we are doing it weekly, so no 6-hour sessions.
Yeah, definitely. But it's still amazing, and I think everybody really enjoys it, and I'm glad we're doing it.
I'm glad also. I'm really glad. Yeah. And nice to have you here. It was nice to have a Crypt. For the audience, if you want to join, please join us next week, Tuesday, same time, and hopefully see you then.
Yes, me too. Thanks, guys. It was really great. I enjoyed it